Okay, hello everyone. This is the Bewarecast, very first ever live stream. Just before we get started, just let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay, you can see me okay. Um, yes, Marcus, face reveal. Yeah, although technically my face reveal was in the most recent video I did. But yeah, so I've decided I needed to put myself out there. And yes, all is flawless. Nice. So that means everyone can hear me, everyone can see me. Good stuff. Cool. Hello, Ian. Nice to have you here. Shampoo Sipper, all is working well. Great. Thank you for letting me know. Hello, Muris, Fred Star of Britain. Seasons greasons to you too. And Oscar. Good to have you with us, Oscar. What will be today's topic? Well, there's not really a topic as such for this stream. This is really more just a test to make sure I've got everything, I've got everything set up correctly. I'll tell you what, I had a bit of a hard job of it actually, because I've been spending most of the day fiddling about with OBS. That's the streaming software that I'm using, and you have to connect that to YouTube. And Oscar was there for it actually. Um, I love how you set it up like you're in a forest. I am in a forest. How did you guess? So anyway, yeah, I was setting it up earlier, and I accidentally, this was about 10 hours ago, I accidentally set the stream going. And yeah, because I made the mistake of using ChatGPT for getting instructions on how to set up, connect OBS to YouTube, and it had a list of instructions, right? And it said, one of the instructions, it said, in OBS, click streaming. Don't worry, this won't start the stream. It just sends the signal to YouTube to let you know that you want to stream through YouTube. So I was like, okay, yeah, I trusted ChatGPT. I clicked start streaming, and the actual stream started. So I was a bit like, oh, well, a bit of a blind panic to get the thing stopped again. But I'll tell you what, Oscar, who's there in the comments, even in that very small window of time where I was briefly live and I didn't want to be, he sent me a super chat. And that is so nice of him. Oscar's a good egg, he's been with the channel for quite a while. He's a subscriber, a long-time subscriber. He's a member of the channel. And he's also a Patreon. So, all three. He's a good all-rounder. Bless him. Let's see. It's just a tiny bit shiny. Maybe get the light source a little bit further away. I'll tell you... Yeah, okay. Alright. Let's see. I've got these tripod things here. So I'll push it back a little bit. Oop. I'll push it back a little bit. I'll turn it down just by one. How's that? How's that, Muris? Let me know. Because, I mean, it looks all good from my end, but I don't... Yeah, obviously, it's how you see it is the important thing, so I need to know how it all looks from your end too. So, yeah, just... I've turned it down by one on the brightness setting. So just let me know how it looks there. So, yeah, you'll have to forgive me. I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest. This is... Like I said, it's the very first time I've ever done this. First time I've used this software, OBS, for this. I've used it before for screen recording on videos that I've done, but I've never used it to go live. There's a lot of pressure. So, oh, thank you, Marcus. It says I'm handling myself perfectly. That's very nice of you to say, Marcus. He also says it does have less glare on both the background and your face. Right, okay, so yeah, Mura says it looks better now too, so cool. Alright, we'll stick with that. I've got my notepad here, so when this is all done, I'll make a note of the settings that everything's on, so we can just replicate it, going forward. Because I would like to make this a regular thing, I have a new schedule because I've kind of revamped the channel a little bit, and I want to, push it into new territory and step outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So that involves, obviously, you know, using my face in the videos, and also, yeah, doing these live streams, which is, yeah, you know, I was really nervous before, like right up until the last moment. I was sort of thinking, can I do this? Can I do this? You know, what if nobody shows up? But plenty of you have shown up, actually. That's pretty cool. So I think we've got, I can't see on the on this window. Let me try this one. Concurrent viewers 10. Wow, that's 10 more than I thought I was going to get. To be honest, I thought the way it was going to go was I would just be talking to myself for the first half an hour, and then maybe one person would sort of dip in and out after that, and it would kind of be a write-off. But no, we've got a good amount of people right off the bat, so that's a good result. That it's brilliant. So so how are you all doing then? What did you all get up to over the weekend? Let me know. I've just been working for the most part, just been editing the next video that's going to be coming out on Friday. So let's see, Marcus has a question about all tomorrows. If the colonists were all just glued together sheets of flesh, how do you figure they evolved and invented such advanced technology? That's an interesting question. Because the colonists, I guess you mean the colonials, and they evolved into the, was it the modular people they evolved into eventually? And the modular people were all, so the colonials were all one big sheet of flesh, but the modular people, they're all separate modules, hence the name. So it's funny how they got from being a sheet of flesh to being individuals again. I don't know, how would that work? Maybe over time. That's a tricky question. That's a tricky question. I may have to think about that for a little while. I'm sorry I can't give you an answer straight away. And how they walk to and move. Yes, it's strange, isn't it? It's been a few years since I read the book. I mean, obviously I did the audio book, as you all know. So I'm just trying to recollect what it said in the chapter about the modulars, whether it mentioned anything about how they got from the colonials to that. I'm not sure if it did, to be honest. But you would think that the colonials would just evolve to just cover the entire planet, wouldn't you? Because even though they were an artificial creation of the Q, what they had did work. You know, their lifestyle did work because the Q made it so it would work. So you'd think if it worked, they would just carry on with that and just envelop the whole planet, and it would just be one planet of, you know, one big flesh planet. A bit of a scary thought there. Let's see. I will think about that, and I'll try and come back to it and give you a bit of a better answer than what I've been able to so far. Let's see. Ian says, are you doing audiobooks again? Probably not as videos, but I think maybe that would be a good thing to do on these streams. Maybe every Monday night I could find a short story, or you could suggest short stories. I could find them and I could do a reading on here. So, I mean, obviously they won't be flawless. You know, not that the ones I've done are particularly flawless. I'm always mispronouncing words and things. But I could, yeah, just do like a live reading on here, if you like. Yeah, let me know if you like the sound of that. Let's see, Muris said work the whole weekend too. Yeah. What do you do, Muris, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to answer. The Q certainly have very convoluted minds. That they do. There's, it's very difficult to explain. You know, I thought about, you know, back at the start of the channel, after I'd done the audiobook and I started making All Tomorrow's theory videos, I'd kind of spent a bit of time mulling over like what their motivations are. I mean, they're religious. It says in the book that they're They're very religious, and their religion is all based around them being gods who can, they can shape the universe to their whim. So I guess their minds and their motivations just align with that. Basically, they see themselves as the caretakers and curators of the universe, and they can do what they like. So yeah, a bit arrogant, one might say, but there you go. That's how they were so successful, I suppose, was by being very arrogant. Let's see. Yeah, Shampoo Sipper, a well-made screen adaptation would be insane. So my pitch that I made a little while ago in a video for All Tomorrows would be probably, I think it would work more as a Netflix series, or not necessarily Netflix, but a series, of like 10 episodes, because it's such a vast scope, the whole story. It literally goes across like 1 billion years. That's a lot of stuff to jam into an hour and a half film. Maybe you could get a bit more into a 10-hour series. So, each one maybe focuses on... The first episode would obviously be about the Star People, and then their, first contact with the Q. And then each episode after that would be about the subsequent species that the Q made the Star People into. And then you could go further. You could have other, subsequent series that have episodes about the Second Galactic Empire and all that kind of thing. The Gravital invasion and destruction of everybody in the end. It would be an amazing thing to see. And my pitch is it should be CGI. I don't like the idea of actors in costume as Satyriaks or anything like that. That would be a bit cheesy in my view. It should be CGI. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen that Netflix series Love, Death and Robots. Some of the episodes in that, the CGI is, when I saw it a few years ago, it was probably the best CGI that I'd ever seen. And I think that level of CGI, and obviously it's improved since then as well, I think it would be that would be the way to do it, in my opinion. So a series, CGI, hour-long episodes. I think you can't really lose, to be honest. As long as it's well written as well. Let's see. Maybe if it was by their own will. This is Jack Powers. Maybe if it was by their own will and through a gruesome process, they eventually tore themselves apart from one another. The stronger colonials lived, while the weaker ones died off. Yep, that's generally how evolution goes, to be honest. The strong survive, the weak do not. They get eaten or they die out. So if there was a process of cannibalism there, it could have been that the stronger ones did just start to prey on the weaker sheets of flesh. It's a lovely image, isn't it? Let's see, Marcus says, out of all the evolutionary branches you've covered on the channel, from Oddworld to All Tomorrows, which one would you most want to be part of? So, do you mean which would I want to live in? That's, I suppose I would rather not live in the All Tomorrows universe, because I don't want to be turned into a flesh sheet or one of the prey that's chased by the predators, or a worm that has to live on a baking hot desert world. I don't much fancy that personally, so I don't think I'd want to live in the All Tomorrows universe. Oddworld might be okay if you get to be, if you get to live as a Mudokon and live out in the wilderness, off the land, in touch with nature, the spirituality, as long as the Glukkons or the Sligs don't come across you and take you off to one of their meat factories, Rupture Farms. I don't fancy. I've worked in a factory before. I don't want to work in Rupture Farms. It looks quite similar actually to the factory I worked in, so I wouldn't want to live there either. The one I mean, What universes have I covered? I mean, I've done a lot of Lovecraft stuff, and I wouldn't want to live there either. I don't want to live in a world that has Cthulhu in it. I cover such. I don't cover any pleasant universes, I guess. So there's not really one I would prefer to live in. I don't think. I don't think there is, but I will have a think about it. I might remember something. You know what? There is a video I did quite a while. This was a few years ago, and it's one of my more. It didn't go as viral as the other ones, but it was about a 2000 AD. That's a sci-fi magazine here in Britain. 2000 AD is the magazine, and there was a story in that called Firekind, and it was about alien dragons. It was about this guy who it was an explorer, basically, an interplanetary, intergalactic explorer, and he came across this world called Genio Lael, I think it was called, and it had these sort of primitive humanoid aliens, and these and they lived very much like the Mudokons, really. You know, they were sort of lived off the land, had a tribal lifestyle, and there was these exotic alien dragons. That would probably be quite a nice place to live if you can, you know, get used to the. I mean, the forests there are dangerous. Everything in the forest wants to kill you. So if you stay out of the deep forest, I think there you'd probably be okay. Anyway, sorry, that was a very long-winded answer. I was just trying to come up with a worthwhile answer, really. Let's see. Muris says, would be nice to hear more of your thoughts from the Walter John Williams Dinosaurs. I really liked it. I think I listened to it 3 times. That was a really good story. I liked dinosaurs. And it was quite harrowing at the end. I don't know how many of you have listened to that video, you know, my audiobook. But yeah, the ending of that was very, very depressing. I was really hoping. What were they called? I mean, the main character. I can't remember his name. He was a human from several million years in the future, wasn't he? He had a very strange aspect to him, didn't he? He had that. Oh man, sorry. I'm just trying to recall everything from that story, because I only read it once. I did enjoy it when I read it, but I've not reread it. So I don't know if I can really give any further thought on that for now without rereading it. Let's see. No, sorry, I'm not. Yeah, I don't really have much I can add to that at the moment. But again, I'll have a think, and I'll see if I can come up with something worthwhile to sort of say a bit later on. Would be nice, yeah. Motion capture CGI or regular? Both could work, I suppose. Motion capture CGI is used a lot these days, so maybe that would be the way to get the realistic movements, because you would be dealing with character models that are pretty unrealistic. Then again, I don't know how you could use motion capture for something like the Snake People, because you know that's that would have to be entirely just CGI, I think. And then the Q as well, they're just, you know, unless you have a motion capture guy flapping his hands like wings. I suppose it would have to be a mix of the two. So you'd have the motion capture for the Star People, the much more humanoid species, motion capture, and then just sort of normal CGI for the other more out there stuff. Yeah. Good quality CGI bits would be. Sorry, let me start that again. Good quality CGI would be what's required. That's right. Lovecraft universe. I doubt anyone could really live. No, true. Seems like everybody who lives there goes mad in the end. Returning to the last thing I asked, I meant which evolutionary branch would you like to live in out of all the ones you've talked about? Which evolutionary branch? So do you mean in all tomorrows? Just clarify that for me. Looking radiant today, my lord. Thank you. It's the lighting is, you know, I've got some new lighting in here. Just it's not really showing up. You know, I've got some background. I wanted like a flow of purple, green, and blue. You can see the blue on my face now, actually, but it's not showing up quite so much because I think this is a budget camera. It doesn't really pick up like that well. But I wanted a cosmic horror vibe, a slow, you know, change of colours like that. I thought that would look really cool. So I need a better camera if I want that effect, really. Evolutionary branch, yeah, I read that. The queue in movement will look like the navigators of the 2000s Dune TV series. I haven't seen that. You know, my knowledge on Dune is lacking. You know, I read the book of, you know, I've only read the first one, just Dune, and that was a very, very long time ago. So and I've seen the what's he called? Was it David Lynch who directed the old, I think it was a 1980s film? I've seen that. I haven't seen the TV series though. I'll have to check it out. Bit of articulated costume too, like a Henson creature shop creation. Yeah, or like you know, like I like practical effects a lot. I like you know, excuse me. I like you know, the Stan Winston type, you know, obviously like the Jurassic Park stuff, and I think practical does look a lot better than CGI a lot of the time. You can have that as well. Articulated costume, yeah. Let's see. Jack Powers says, not gonna lie, living in the Snake People would be really cool. Living with the Snake People, sorry, would be really cool. The author really emphasized how similar they are to us. Plus the image of them makes them seem really down to earth. Yeah, you know, he's in his room listening to music. They seem like a chilled out bunch, those Snake People. If I was going to live amongst any All Tomorrow species, it probably would be them, to be honest. They seem like the least violent, the most chilled out, just the easiest to get along with, really. Not just in All Tomorrows, every piece of media you touched in which has evolution. Hard to say. I suppose, yeah, the answer I just gave then. I suppose the Snake People, that's who I would prefer to be, you know, one of. If I was going to be in any evolutionary line, they definitely seem like the most, they're the ones that they've got a handle on life. So I would be one of them, I think. Let's see. Filming from the void, I see. Yes, I am. Yes, the void in the middle of a forest. It's yeah, it's all right here. It's a bit dark, but you know, as far as voids go, this one's pretty nice. Let's see. Mura says, do you have it as a physical copy, or did you find it online? I haven't been able to find a physical one. Would really like to have the dinosaurs on my shelf. Which one are you referring to there? What about in other franchises like Oddworld? So, I don't know. In Oddworld, it's very much a dog-eat-dog kind of place, isn't it? You can live the peaceful life like the Mudokons, but there's always the risk of being captured and forced to work in a horrible factory. Then you could take the other approach and say, well, you know, in a dog-eat-dog world, I'd rather be the big dog, and that means being a glukkon, I suppose. But I don't like the idea of being a glukkon because they're jerks. And the sligs are just, you know, they're just the enforcers of all the horrible things they do, so I don't think I don't know, that's a tricky question. I suppose I would just take the risk and be a Mudokon and live out in nature, and If they come for me, make me work in the factory, so be it. You know, I'll just try and run away. See, if you want another interesting read that talks about how a species works, I recommend the Gnomes book by Will Hoyen. I don't know if I pronounced the surname correctly. I've never heard of that. Gnomes, what's that one about? It meant the dinosaurs that you read for the audiobook. Was it a film? Oh, right. Yes, of course. The Walter John Williams story. That's was a short story, I believe, published in a magazine. So as far as I know, there's no actual physical copy in book form. So I just found a PDF online. No, I didn't actually. No, I got it off Amazon. Yeah, I got it off the Amazon Books. What do you call it? Yeah, the Amazon bookstore, whatever it's called. I got it off there. It wasn't very much. I think I only paid £3 or £4 for it, so it's not particularly expensive. But yeah, just go on Amazon and you'll be able to find it on there, assuming it's still on there, because I got it a few years ago. See. What about the chicken-esque people from Stranger's Wrath? They're well, I suppose, you know, they live in their own town. They've got their own way of life. They, you know, they're kind of not very nice. They're sort of squabbly, gossipy, just kind of like people in real life, I suppose, really. Would I want to be one of them? It'd probably be safer, actually, to be one of them rather than being a Mudokon. So yeah, maybe one of the chicken people. Maybe that would be the better option, actually. Oscar says, one universe I found fascinating was the Unreal universe from the first game. So yeah, that's the only Unreal game I ever played. This was a long time ago, and it was on the original Xbox. It was just Unreal Tournament 2 or something. I think that was just like basically a multiplayer game. I don't really know anything about the lore from Unreal. Jack Powers says, I hope that in all tomorrow's Redux releases, when it releases, we see more of how the United Galaxies came together and defeated the Q. I think it deserves more detail on that happy ending. Q finally paying up. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. So I believe he's C.M. Kozeman, the author, is taking I mean, it's going to be much more detailed, the Redux. The original one, the point of it was the Q weren't really... They were just like a literary device just to move things forward. And it was sort of a throwaway line at the end saying that they were subdued, but it didn't elaborate on that. It would be cool to find out how they were elaborated. Sorry, not how they were elaborated. How they were subdued. Mixing my words up. How they were subdued. Yeah, it would be quite interesting to find that out, to be honest. It'd be a bittersweet ending, because assuming things progress in the same way this time around in the Redux as they did in the old book, it'd be bittersweet because it would still mean all those species that we come to know and love all still get wiped out. But the Q do get their comeuppance in the end, and the Gravital would as well. So yeah, it would be interesting to see. Let's see. So many. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's right, Jack. They did a lot to a lot of species, and that's just the ones we know about. There's obviously, they've been traveling the galaxy for 1 billion years before and 1 billion years after they met the Star People. So it's you know, you wouldn't be able to put a number on it, to be honest. It'd just be too many to... And they did all that to all those species. So they deserve a bit of comeuppance, I think. Zombie Salmon. Hello, Zombie Salmon says, Last and First Men has some cool species. Bit of a dizzying scope, but seems cool. Yeah, I've not read all of Last and First Men. I started it, but then I think, I don't know, some stuff came up and I ended up not reading anything for a while, so I've got it. I've got it just over there, but I just need to actually, because that's C.M. Kozeman said that that was the main inspiration for All Tomorrow, so it would be good to read the inspiration for this book that we all thoroughly enjoy and love. The four-armed people from Unreal game. The Gnarly, does that say? Don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know anything about Unreal, to be honest. I've only ever played one game, and that was 20 odd years ago when I was a kid. Had the original Xbox. Yes, yeah, Marcus, we're missing out on the video game opportunities too. I'm surprised nobody's made one, to be honest. I mean, there's so many indie developers that could do it. You know, they would be able to make a cracking All Tomorrow's video game, but I don't know. I mean, somebody may have done. I don't know if they have. If anyone knows of one, let me know. Shampoo Sipper. I'm surprised no one has attempted a short fan-made film for All Tomorrows. There have been lots of very ambitious film projects on YouTube. Great CGI and everything. SCP, Overlord comes to mind. Yeah, there's short videos. Let's see. Yeah, there's been a few very short ones. I can't think of the names of any of the channels because I watched a few back in the day, a few years ago, when I was really into All Tomorrows. I'm not, you know, I mean, I've read it. I feel like I've, in video form, I've said everything I can say about it. That's why I've been doing other stuff. But yeah, I'm surprised nobody's made a good CGI short film. It could be done. I mean, you see the things that people make, you know, using, I don't know, Unreal Engine and Blender and stuff like that. They could easily do it. Excuse me one moment, just going to have yeah, so if you want another cool speculative evolution project, I recommend Serena, The World of Birds. Yeah, I've looked into that one. It's very, very vast. Very, very interesting. I did do some reading about it. I didn't really keep up with it, though. The thing is, I'm not a huge fan of... Well, no, that's the wrong way to put it. I'll rephrase it. I tend not to read things or follow things that are ongoing because I like to have a complete thing that I can just, I can just read it cover to cover and I've got it there. When something's ongoing, it means having to wait for the next bit, and I think I'm just a bit too impatient for that, to be honest. I'd rather just have the whole thing in its, finished form, personally. Will you ever do a video on The Future is Wild? I did do a video on The Future is Wild. Not an overview video, it was more just like a list of all the species from it. So that was probably about a year ago I did that. Yeah, could check that one out. Because I did that. I think Dougal Dixon, who wrote Man After Man, had a hand in creating The Future is Wild. And I've got a long compilation video as well. It's called something like the Weird Worlds of Dougal Dixon or something like that. That's from around a year ago, so I think that video is about 2.5 hours long. So if you're bored one day, you've got a few hours to kill, you can watch that. It's got Future is Wild in there. Jack Powers, I also wonder how large the Astromorph gods and Gravital are, since the art makes them seem truly massive in scale. The Gravital art has trees below, so whether it's perspective or the Gravital is huge. It could be either way. My interpretation when I looked at it was just a perspective thing. They were close to the camera and the trees and everything were in the background. But they could be gigantic, because they're just human minds that have been put into machines through quantum computing technology, I believe. So once the mind is in the casing, it doesn't matter. The casing, the metal shell, the body could be as big as you want. It could be the size of a planet if you can build it. If you can find the materials, you can build it. You can live in it, you know. So it's hard to say, really. I suppose the author would be the best person to ask about that, to be honest. He's on Instagram and YouTube and everything, so you know he's a nice guy. He's open to answering questions from fans. Yeah, Zombie Salmon. My dream All Tomorrow's film would be the most art house movie ever made. Each race gets a different director and art form. Killer Folk get live action, Worms get stop motion, Gravitars get CGI. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how Love, Death and Robots was, because that was all different animation styles from episode to episode. So yeah, you know, as a, it could just, I mean, it would have a through line of the story. Obviously, the reason the species exist is all because of the Q. But it could be sort of like a Twilight Zone. What do you call that kind of show? Let me know what the word is when it's a show and each episode is a self-contained story. Somebody'll. Yeah. See, I thought the Killer Folk were all natural. Not sure what you mean there. Never mind, I didn't know you were talking about the Astromorphs. Yeah, so, what is the name of that kind of show? Like the Twilight Zone, where it's all different different self-contained stories. Anthology, yes, thank you, Zombie Salmon, that's right. An anthology series would be a good way to do it. Although I don't know if it would truly be. Well, it would be, because it's on different planets and different settings and things. So that kind of would be an anthology series, even if it's all got the same root, cause of everything that happens in each story. Technically, I suppose it could be. Yeah. So I think that would be a pretty good way of doing it as well. My vision was just having all just CGI, just for, because I pictured it being an overarching story arc. So for consistency, it would look the same from episode to episode. But you know, the anthology with different animation each time would also work. I'd watch it. Yeah. So we've been getting on for 40 minutes. And, you know, I've found it surprisingly easy to just talk. I was worried that I would be sat here, you know, twiddling my thumbs, looking around, what do I say? But I think you guys have put me at ease, to be honest. You know, you've been really good, because you've been interactive, you've been asking questions, enables things to keep going. So, you know, thanks for that. Thanks for putting me at ease. Thanks for making me feel less nervous. It's made me feel a lot more confident about making live streams a regular thing. Because it's something I want to do. Something, you know, I've wanted to get out of my comfort zone and try new things and evolve the channel. So, yeah, this is helping me to do that. Fred Starr of Britain says, since I've watched that Blob vs. Thing video, I'm wondering how a high-tech versus star people scenario would play out. Or even a Travellers of the Stars versus Astromorphs scenario. So the high-techs are pretty pathetic creatures, to be honest. You know, they're encased within these robotic cradles, and they have sort of traditional humans do all of their grunt work for them. They can't do anything for themselves. All they do is sit around and get injected with drugs because they're scared of their own shadows. So they're not going to really be much of a match for the star people. The star people are leagues beyond them. And Travelers of the Stars versus Astromorph. Yeah, I mean, the Travelers of the Stars, they just go around kind of ravaging worlds, don't they? Yeah, they like they did when they came back to Earth. They're more akin to the Q than the Astromorphs, I think. So I think Travelers of the Stars versus the Q might be more of an even match. But the Q have a billion years head start on them, so again, they probably would mop the floor with them in a one-on-one. Awesome guy lol 2012, welcome to the stream, good to have you. Hey, I know you're probably doing something else, but I'm wondering if you're making more All Tomorrow's videos. Not for the foreseeable future. Like I said before, I've probably said all I can say on that, to be honest. I don't really have any more ideas of any theories. I've done all the species profiles, and I just want to do other things as well. So probably not for the foreseeable future. The next one I do will probably be when the Redux comes out, to be honest, and I don't know when that's going to be. So that's likely to be the next All Tomorrow's related video. I'll probably email Mr. Kozeman, see if he's okay with me doing an audiobook reading of that. I'd obviously ask his permission. Just because I got his permission the first time doesn't mean it's a given that I'll have his permission for the next one. So I'll have to have a chat with him and see what he says. But I'd like to do an audiobook version of the Redux, so I'd do that. And there's going to be a lot of new species in the Redux as well, so I'd be able to make videos on that. So that's probably when you can expect new All Tomorrow's stuff from me, would be then. Zombie Salmon could never be a streamer personally. Entertaining multiple people in real time makes me ick, lol. It's daunting. Certainly, I was quite nervous about doing it, and right up to the last minute I was thinking, should I just back out and not do it, because it's, first of all, I thought it'd be really embarrassing if nobody showed up, but other than that, I then thought, if people do show up, then there's several people that are watching me, waiting for me to be entertaining somehow. I'm not a very entertaining guy, I don't think, so I thought it'd be quite the challenge, but it's actually been easier than I thought, so yeah. Okay, thanks, I'll still watch your vids. Yeah, cool, thanks. I mean, I understand that the channel did start as an All Tomorrow's channel, and I'm very grateful to Mr. Kozeman and the book that he wrote, because without that I wouldn't have this channel. It was the launch pad for the channel. It's opened up a lot of things for me, to be honest. This is what I do for a living now. I'm able to, get by on this channel alone, and some other little bits and bobs. But this is my main income, so I'm eternally grateful to it. And me not making videos about it anymore shouldn't be taken as a sign of, I don't like it anymore or anything like that. I do still have a massive appreciation for it. But yeah, it's just, I just want to do, you talk about the same thing over and over again. It can get a bit boring, can't it? Excuse me one. Yeah, so that's just where I am at the moment with it. But I would like to make more videos when the Redux comes out and there's new stuff to talk about. Have you thought about making your own speculative future? Well, yeah, I'm working on a book actually. It's called The Telescope. I'll give you the premise now. So basically, if we wanted to see... Well, this started as a conversation I was having with my brother when I was hanging out at his house a little while ago. A couple of years ago. And we were talking about how you could actually do time travel, like in real life. Not just a machine, like in the time machine that zips you back and forth through time. You know, and there is a way you could do it realistically, and that would be to basically, so you know the stars in the sky, they're so far away, the light has only just reached us. So if we left Earth on a craft and went, you know, millions of, say 65 million light years away, and we took with us an ultra powerful telescope, we could look at the Earth through this telescope. The light from the Earth would have only just reached us, and it would be light from the Earth from 65 million years ago. And if you had the powerful telescope to zoom in on the Earth, you could see dinosaurs walking around. That's, you know, that's in theory, that's how time travel could be done, not through us physically going, you know, through time, but you'd be able to see the past by doing that. So my idea for a speculative evolution thing, and it's in this book I'm writing, it's the book at the moment is called The Telescope. Basically the telescope is built on Earth because people have been trying to get to other planets to see alien life, but can't do it. You know, it's just not feasible for pretty mundane reasons, really. Most of them monetary reasons. There's been a few disasters with ships just exploding, you know, before they've even left the atmosphere. So the humanity in the future, this is set in the 2500s, they give up on the idea of space travel, physical space travel, and instead they build this ultra powerful telescope on Earth, and everybody can use it to look at planets millions of light years away to see alien life on these planets. But the caveat there is that what you're looking at is alien life from millions and millions of years ago, because that light has only just reached us. So you wouldn't be able to see what's there now. You could only see what's from the past. You know, that would give it a sort of rather somber tone, I think. It's something I'm working on at the moment. I don't know if it would have illustrations or anything. I think it's just going to be a book, like Last and First Men. Because I've tried, you know, drawing, and I used to be quite good at art when I was at school, but I didn't do it for a long time, and I'm well out of practice. So my drawing skills are not very good. I suppose I could hire an artist, but I may just write it as a book and try and be really descriptive with the alien life. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm writing at the moment. So yeah. So yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it's actually cool. Hopefully my explanation there made sense and wasn't just rambling nonsense. Because yeah, I was trying to give you the rundown of it without boring you to death with all the detail. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. So hopefully, I don't know when it'll be done. I don't have a set deadline for it or anything. It's just, it'll be kind of done when it's done. I'd say I'm about a third the way through it at the moment. So, Brandon Murphy, you would love Spore. I played Spore back in the day. I did like it. I kind of went through a phase of, this was a long time ago, probably 2009, 2010 when I played it. Although I think I've still got it on my Steam now, actually. Spore. But yeah, I was just playing a lot of World of Warcraft back in 2009, 2010, and a lot of Spore. I'd sort of rotate between the two back then. So I played Spore quite a lot back in the day. I don't play a lot of video games these days, to be honest. When I do, I just play Cyberpunk. Just, you know, I don't know. I'm quite busy these days, and I don't really have the time for anything story driven. I tend to just, if I do have a bit of spare time and I fancy playing a video game, which will probably only be 2 or 3 times a month, I'll just play a bit of Cyberpunk personally. Yeah, I got to go, but I'll be back soon. Yeah, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Awesome guy, lol 2012. It was good to have you. Thanks for all your questions and everything. Fred Star of Britain. So what about the new dinosaurs? I find the designs of each dinosaur a bit bizarre yet fascinating, But could it really happen given the current scientific understanding of paleontology as of now? Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the stuff Dougal Dixon wrote was written in the 80s and 90s. So, you know, the understanding of things has moved on a bit since then. So a lot of what he wrote probably actually would not come into being. You know, it's quickly, you know, the understanding of things changes every day, doesn't it? So I don't think really anything from the new dinosaurs would come into being. I don't know if any of you, like if you're old enough to remember this, if you ever watched some sort of like you watch dinosaur documentaries back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, they would always have a humanoid sort of dinosaur. They would say, oh, the dinosaurs would have evolved to be like lizard men, humanoid looking lizard men. But that's why would they ever have done that? Why would there be such a drastic change from their form that they had into looking like us? Why would they look like us? But that seemed to be the style at the time, I suppose. That's what people thought. So, and that was, and then after that, came the understanding that they had feathers. So, you know, who knows what they're gonna say in 10 years' time? Probably be completely different to what we say now. Chris's channel, hi Chris, good to have you. Oscar says he wrote his book based on its time's knowledge and understanding. Yeah, that's right, and that's all you can do. All you can do is use the most current level of knowledge and understanding that we have, and build your story from there. You know, and it's just a sad fact that in 10, 20 years, your story will just seem really, really dated because, you know, knowledge has improved since then. Just the risk you have to take, I suppose. Zombie Salmon, old science fiction, especially speculative evolution, is very entertaining. Brilliant mixture of intelligence and lying for fun. Dinosauroids are the best example. Yes, exactly. Lying for fun is a good way of describing it, to be honest. Yeah, the Dinosauroid was weird. The model looks like one of those conspiracy theory lizard people. Yeah, you mean the ones that rule the world? That the British royal family are actually lizard people. Yeah, those ones. It was the yeah, like I said, it was the style at the time. That's what they thought. They thought, you know, we're here, so if we weren't here, the thing that would be here would look like us, which is a bit. No, it's. I mean, even as a kid, I think we went to a museum at some points when we were on holiday, and I saw one of those models, and I was just sort of thinking at the time, like, why would it look like us? But, hey. Yeah. So where are we now? Yeah, we've been going for almost an hour. I'll tell you what, when we get to past, we'll call it for there. This was a really good stream though. It's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's why the Queen lived so long. They've probably got her head saved somewhere. Yeah, they're preserving her brain for her ultimate return later on. We may see her again. Maybe. I'm sure if that was possible, then a lot of very powerful people would like their brains preserved. It'd be like in Futurama, where their heads are all in jars. Yeah, it'd be something like that, probably. You know, I feel a bit icky saying this, because I don't like doing hard sells and everything. But there is the option to send super chats. No, you don't have to, obviously. And, you know, I'm not trying to pressure anybody into sending one. It's just a thing. It's just a thing you can do if you want to support the channel. obviously there's no pressure to do so, and I feel a little bit, I don't like asking for money, you know. That's why you see some YouTubers and it's like, oh, my Patreon, my Patreon, my Patreon, 3 or 4 times in the video. And really, for me, I generally just mention it once at the end. At times, I've had like a graphic at the bottom that comes up. But yeah, I just thought I'd put it out there, you know, just in case you want to support the channel. It helps keep the lights on around here, allows me to keep doing what I'm doing. Every penny helps, you know. So, but like I said, no pressure, no pressure. Let's see. Cool. Concurrent viewers, 9. So yeah, we've only lost 1, and I think that was the guy who said he had to go, but he'll be back soon. So I'm very happy I've been able to maintain the audience number for this long, to be honest. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna, you know, I'm gonna start doing these live streams every Monday. It'll be every Monday, 9:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm not sure what that is in all the American time zones, because I think you've got 5 or 6 different time zones over there. So I couldn't say, but it'll be, you know, same bat time, same bat channel every Monday. Same queue time, same queue channel, I should say. So that's going to be a thing going forward, I think, is these live streams. You know, I wanted it, when I was thinking about the new schedule, I thought I'll do live stream Monday, new video Friday. That way it's something to start the week and something to end the week, you know. So it's just my thinking. Let's see, entertaining 12 whole people is impressive. Keep it up. Thanks. it's 12 more than I thought I was going to get. Like I said before at the start, I thought I would be talking to myself for the first half an hour, and then maybe I'd have one person show up and then disappear really quickly when he saw how boring I was. But you guys have all stuck around, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. One Silly Moogle, presently 2:26 p.m. in California. Cool. Hello. Cool. California. Never been. I've been to America in my life 4 times. 3 times properly to visit. 1 time as a layover in Los Angeles on the way to New Zealand, because I went there a while, about 12 years ago. But yeah, I stopped over in LAX for just a few hours, so I didn't get to go out and see Los Angeles or anything. But America, I really liked America. I've not been there for a long time. I've been to Kansas twice, because I've got a friend who used to live here in England. He was half American, half English. And he lived here for a while, but then he went to America, and I went to visit him twice. And I really liked Kansas. It was really cool. Not touristy at all. Great place. I really liked it. But the first time I went we went to Florida back in 2005. It was a family holiday. You know, and the weather today here in England is it's a bit reminiscent of Florida, because at the moment we're having the hottest day of the year. Again, in America you would probably laugh at this temperature. It's 36 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's hot. And I've got a fan going, so if you can hear humming in the background, I need the fan going because it's so warm. So I apologise for that. Yeah, right. So yeah, we're coming up on an hour now. So I guess we'll call it a day for there. But you know, thank you everybody for coming along. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you have as well. Yeah, summer in England is literally hell. It is. Because it's so humid. It's boiling. It's just so close, and you just feel sticky. It is hell. Oh, let's see, another one. Brandon Murphy, have you seen Tail Foundry's video on All Tomorrows? No, I haven't. I've watched some of Tail Foundry's stuff, but I haven't seen that particular video. I'll have to check it out. Travis Clark. Hello, Travis. Great stream. Can't wait for more. Thank you, Travis. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. This has been great. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you all have as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. New video coming on Friday. It's about. I'll just tell you what it's about quickly. It's about this 2000 AD story it's called Flesh, and it's about people in the 23rd century. There's no animals left to eat, so they travel back in time to the time of the dinosaurs and hunt them for food. And it's great 2000 AD fare, you know, satirical, funny, brutal, violent, everything I like. So upcoming video this Friday is about this book. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Friday 7 PM Greenwich Mean Time. Anyway, yep, thanks Ran N. Yep, see you next time. Brandon, see you next time. And you, Peter Estrada from Australia. Cool. Right. Cheers, guys. I'll see you on Friday for the next video and next Monday for the next live stream. Take care.